All right, so good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today to go over how you can safely reopen your food service business. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you for sharing some of your morning with us to go over this. We are committed, Helen Marks is committed to being a consultant and a resource for you during this crazy pandemic. And so we're grateful that you decided to spend some of your morning with us today to talk about this. We have a handful of amazing food service experts on the call today. They have expertise from everything from food safety training to product information. We have business owners on this call, so we're very excited for them to offer all of their expertise. They're living and breathing it. And we have a lot to cover in this presentation, so we're just going to get right started. But I do ask that you mute yourselves so we can avoid any distracting background noise or disruptive noise. So thank you so much if you can mute. We are going to have a Q&A for the last 10 minutes of this presentation where you can ask any question your heart desires. You can unmute yourself then or either enter in the chat box. So with that, let's get started to our amazing presenters. Holly, I'll let you start.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Holly Storm. I'm with Lake Effect Sales and Marketing. I've been with Lake Effect for about 3 years now. We're headquartered in Buffalo, New York, and cover all of upstate New York and parts of Pennsylvania. And I live right here in Albany. I've been in the food service hospitality industry for about 10 years, front and back of the house with Walt Disney World and Seasons 52 Darden restaurants, and purchasing with Schenectady County Community College and Barteca Restaurant Group. Very excited and happy to be here on behalf of Hill & Marks and Cambro Manufacturing to discuss solutions with you all and bring you a little insight on the takeout and delivery aspect as we open up here. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly.
How you doing? Good morning. Dave Verteber from Regional Sales Manager, National Checking Company. I cover basically all of New England and New York City. I'm based out of Central Mass, just right outside of Boston, so I kind of hunkered down over here right now. But been with National Checking now for a little over 2 years. Before that, I was with Nestle doing some work with them. So we'll be talking a little food safety training later.
Thank you so much, David. Dan?
I'm Dan Brown with Alliance Marketing. Been in the business for about 40 years. Owned our brokerage for about 30 of those years. We strictly do food service packaging. That's our expertise. We cover all of upstate New York, based out of Syracuse. Before that, I was director of non-foods for a large broadliner for many years, and have worked with Hill & Marks for well over 30 years. So I look forward to a presentation today.
Thank you, Dan. Adine?
Hi, Adine Viscusi. I am a manufacturer of pasta and pizza sauce. I've been in the consumer packaged goods business for my entire life, born and bred and raised and working in Schenectady, New York. We manufacture primarily pasta and pizza sauce, which we sell across New England. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be in the 518 community because it's such a vibrant community to be in. And I think that people in the Capital District are a really unique breed of people. And as business owners and people that are in business together, I see a big, huge connection of connectivity. So I'm excited that Hill & Marks has put this great group together to try and do what we can to move our businesses forward and to help one another. So I'm excited to be here. So thanks for putting this on.
Thank you, Irene. And thank you all for joining us, these experts. We're so grateful that you guys have helped us out today and are going to talk to some of our amazing customers and the people in the 518 who are awesome business owners. So thank you so much. My name's Katie Bruno. I'm the marketing supervisor at Hill & Marks. And I'm going to talk to you guys today a lot about your marketing and your messaging and how you can get the word out that you guys are open and you're safe. And so we're really excited to kind of get in this presentation, and we thank you all for joining us today. And we're especially grateful to our amazing presenters. So thank you guys so much. So let's go over some of the learning objectives that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about staff safety, which is extremely important. We're going to go over operational adjustments. Takeout and delivery is going to be key. Food safety training is also going to be extremely important. And we're going to go over cleaning and disinfection. We're going to start with staff safety. So keeping your staff safe and healthy should be your #1 priority. I know that it is for Hill & Marks. We care about our staff like family. We're a family-owned business. We care about our customers like family. And so our #1 priority is making sure that they're safe and healthy and that they feel comfortable. And so that should be your main focus as well. So here's some tips that you can do to make sure that your staff is safe and that you feel safe. So you're going to want to ensure that the person in charge of your food service facility is a certified food manager. This is going to be key during this time, especially now that everyone is hyper aware of cleanliness and safety. So you're going to want to make sure that you have someone that is very well versed in this on site at all times during the operating hours. You should definitely be having a food safety manager who is well equipped to handle and discuss all things food safety in your business. You're going to want to limit the amount of employees during shifts. Something that we've seen other restaurants do, as well as ice cream shops, is have designated dates to reduce risk and cross-contamination. So having the same shift people on the same time, so you have a Tuesday and Thursday shift, a Wednesday and Friday shift, making sure those same people are working together. That way your whole staff isn't knocked out if someone does happen to fall ill with coronavirus. So it's a way to reduce risk and cross-contamination. So this is definitely something that you're going to want to consider moving forward when you can reopen, or if you are operating with offering curbside pickup right now. You're going to want to take temperature of employees upon arrival. I'm going to do a shameless plug here. Helen Marks does have a thermostat that you can purchase, so be sure to talk to your sales rep after this call to learn about this thermostat, and it's touchless, so it's going to be safe, and you're going to want to take the temperature of your employees upon arrival to make sure that no one is sick. You're also going to want to ask employees to stay home if they feel ill or if someone in their household feels ill. Again, this is a precaution. You're going to want to make sure your staff feels comfortable to do this. A lot of staff will be like, no, I'm going to go in with a cold. I have to make money, and I need to work. I can't miss the shift. You're going to want to communicate that during this time, it's extremely important that you are taking every precaution necessary to stay healthy. And that means if someone in their household is sick, or if they're sick, they stay home. Invest in face masks and necessary PPE. This is going to be the norm moving forward. So you're going to see your wait staff wearing face masks when dine-in does open. You're definitely going to want to make sure they have the gloves needed, especially back of house and front of house. So making sure that you have the necessary PPE is going to be key. You could also invest in a cashier shield if that's necessary, if that's applicable at your business. So making sure that you have a plexiglass or cashier shield that protects your staff during a transaction. And you're also going to want to emphasize the importance on hand washing and proper coughing and sneezing etiquette. These seem like basic things, but it's always good to give a refresher, and we highly recommend hanging up hand washing signs all throughout your shop and your business. So another thing you're going to want to consider with PPE is changing your gloves frequently. If you're exchanging cash, you're going to want to change your gloves immediately. Again, this is just to be as hygienic as possible. Practice social distancing with customers and staff with clear signage. So making sure you have clear outlines, floor signs, and methods for your social distancing. Provide hygiene materials such as tissues, hand soap, and sanitizer. As an employer, it's your responsibility to making sure these materials are available for your staff to feel safe. And lastly, you're going to want to make sure you have a process in place if employees get sick or diagnosed with COVID-19. So you're going to want to develop a sick leave guideline, and you're going to want to be in contact with your public health department. We recommend checking in with them, very often to see, hey, what's the county protocol? What should I do if someone gets sick? Making sure that you have specific instructions. Where can my, employee get tested? How do I quarantine this employee? Making sure you have all the information possible. You're going to want to make sure you talk to your county public health department. They're going to have those answers for you, and it's specific to each county. So making sure you have develop a relationship with your health department is going to be key. Hold trainings for old and new staff on proper procedures. This is also going to be extremely important. Your staff has not cleaned in a while, I'm assuming, if your business has not been fully open. So you're going to want to make sure you have new and old staff being trained on proper procedures. Plus, there's a high chance that you're going to be cleaning more often and more frequently than you ever have before. And so you're going to want to train your staff on what to use and how to use it and when to use it. And cross-train your staff where applicable. So again, this all comes down to if someone gets sick, and then you're left with reduced staff. So you want to have someone, maybe if they're a cook, or if they were great at the cashier register, or they were a busboy, but they could maybe learn serving and waiting. You're going to want to cross-train. So if you do one of your employees does fall ill, you have the chance to have another employee step in. And actually, we do have a business owner, Adine, on this call, and I'd love for her insight. I know she has been practicing staff safety with her employees, and I'd love to hear what she has to say about that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think you're right. Communication is key. Like, you need to really talk to your employees and let them know. We were lucky that we were deemed essential. We manufacture food, so we were able to stay open. I stressed as much as I possibly could how important it was for the staff to stay healthy. So it was communication. You know, how are your circles being maintained? Not only yourself, but like the people that you live with, your family, are they staying safe? Are your kids home? Are you keeping, you know, things tight? We had conversations about the paycheck situation when the unemployment came out. And it's like, you know, a lot of my employees don't make more than, you know, an hourly wage because it's manual repetitive labor. So we had very honest, candid conversations about, you may be able to get an unemployment check and stay home, but that's going to run out. If you come to work every day, you'll always have a job. So I think those honest conversations between employers and employees are key. You know, we're a family-owned business. We treat our employees like family. So our biggest concern was their health and safety. So, and that means we're all connected, you know? So like, if somebody gets sick and they come to work, they're going to infect me. And I'm the weakest link in my family. My husband and my son haven't left the house, you know, on day like 79, I don't know, 80, where we are. But so it's important that everybody pitches in together and keeps each other healthy. So we did daily temperature checks. We had a reduced staff for the first 3 weeks. So myself, my office manager, Christo, we were up on the production line for the first 3 weeks, like Rosie the Riveter, you know, pitching in where we could to just keep our circles small. And it was important that, you know, you foster this team spirit and feeling. We brought in lunch every day and are still bringing in lunch every day for the employees, so they don't have to leave the site to go to Cumberland Farms or Stewart's. They're keeping their circles small. And high touch point areas every night. I wipe down myself with Lysol, with Clorox wipes, their area, their break rooms, any common areas, high touch point areas. And, you know, also staying informed. I make it my mission every day to, as much as I hate the news, to stay informed, to keep abreast of what's going on so that I can make informed decisions about my business and share that with my employees.
Fantastic. Exactly. Transparency is going to be important during this time, and making sure you keep your circle small and informing your staff on what's important. So thank you so much for that. Also, here's some tips on how to reduce transmission. We're all pretty much aware of this, but it's worth showing again because it's important. You're going to want to clean your hands often. That's extremely important. You're going to want to avoid close contact. Social distancing is going to be key. Making sure you're practicing proper coughing and sneezing etiquette, staying home if you're sick, and cleaning and disinfecting. And we're going to talk about some of this stuff more in depth later on. We're going to go into cleaning and disinfecting and all of that. So we'll get that to a later slide. So the next thing we're going to want to be aware of is industry downsizing. So dining areas are going to run at a lower capacity to start. And our hint is that you can make up that difference in takeout. And we're going to go into how you can really excel in takeout a little bit later on in this slide, in this presentation. But dining areas are going to run at a lower capacity to start. I believe that dining areas and restaurants reopening is phase 3 of the New York plan. And so we have a little bit of time, but it's important that you guys are ready. You know, you have the wind in your sails when it is time to open in. So social distancing is going to be key. And you're going to want to update your floor plan to ensure 6 feet distance. So making sure your tables are 6 feet away. And you're going to want to make sure your entire floor plan is updated. And you're going to increase spacing between tables. If you have a bar stool, you might want to remove every other bar stool. If you have bar stools that are already in the floor, you can put an X on the ones in between, like this image shown here. We also have some social distancing floor signs here that we have on this slide that Helen Marks can offer you for your business. Another tip is that you're going to want to remove any type of lemon or unwrapped straws from self-service drink stations where salad bars and buffets are permitted by local and state officials. You're going to want to have sneeze guards in place. It's going to be a less interactive model. So with this industry downsizing, you're going to be transitioning from, you know, such an interactive model where you're engaging with your wait staff and you're engaging with the people in the restaurant. That's not going to be the case. People aren't going to be comfortable with that yet. And so you need to take the proper steps to make sure that your customers are at ease. And that's going to be less interaction, unfortunately. So you're going to see a transition from hand-carried plates to tray or cart service for less contact. You might want to start investing in a cash-free policy with prepay options. Table-side credit card processing is going to be a good option for your facility. Again, people are going to try to avoid contact at any capacity. They don't want to have direct contact with anyone. They're going to feel nervous at first to get out there. You want to update your reservation system to bring guests in for set intervals to prevent crowded wait areas. And you also might want to consider just having reservation only to start, so you don't have walk-ins and you have people waiting. And to start, you want to have a very organized process and make sure that you're following all of the guidelines and that there's no proper social distancing is being executed. You're going to want to make sure you have hand sanitizing stations throughout the restaurant and entrances and exits and bathrooms. And you also want to consider having separate enter and exit locations with clear signage, so that way people aren't interlapping. You have people walking in and you have people walking out. And you're going to want to make sure that you communicate that clearly and have signs displayed to let your staff and your customers know that. We're also going to talk about a menu approach. So this is another adjustment that you might want to be making. So you're going to want to learn how to better manage food costs and forecasting sales. You can use your POS data to see your historic menu trends to determine which menu trends require less work, less ingredients, but are still house favorites, are still really popular. You're going to want to consider a more focused and limited menu approach. So again, you're going to want to have your house favorites that your customers have come to love and expect, but you also want to have margin drivers. So you're going to want to make profit off of this. You want to have menus with less ingredients that require less works, but are still savory. If you are going to have menus and you're going to be delivering menus when people are sitting down, you're going to want to clean and sanitize those reusable menus right after. And you're going to want to make sure you're doing it where it's visible for customers to see. We're going to talk about this a little bit later on in the presentation, but we're really used to cleaning off hours or not in front of guests, and that's going to change. You're going to see a shift in more visible cleaning. People are going to want to see that you're taking all the extra steps to be sanitary. And so, if you have a hostess, things aren't going to be as busy right to start. Once you take that menu off, clean and sanitize, and do it right when it's visible for your customers to see, and they're going to be like, oh, phew, I wasn't just touching something that was contaminated. And you're also going to want to determine food items that travel well for delivery and takeout. And I'm going to extend any insight to our panelists here if they want to add anything to the last few slides that we've done. We're good? All right. So again, when you want to deliver items that travel well for delivery and takeout, you don't want to have something that's messy. And so now we're going to be going to takeout and to go. Takeout, delivery, and curbside pickup is going to be a must for your business right now. Like we said, you are not going to be opened at full capacity. You're also going to be having less tables, less bar interaction. So you need to make up that difference in takeout and delivery and curbside pickup. So how to do that successfully is a few ways. One, you're going to want to have a separate area for curbside pickup and delivery with designated staff. You're going to want to consider family-style food options. So having, a panizzitti for 4, lasagna for 4, making the most out of your meals so that you can sell, a bulk amount to family-sized items. If they're going to invest in that money and order takeout, they're going to want to be getting something, big enough for the entire family. You want to consider interactive food kits. We have a picture here of some make your own pizza food kits. So this is also something to consider if you aren't a pizza, if you aren't a pizza business, you can still sell dough. You can buy those ingredients and still sell them as a pizza kit. So that's another way to get some new business and a new idea into your food service restaurant. You're going to want to have takeout add-ons. So this is something that's going to do a little extra special. Dan is going to go into the next slide, but you're all competing, with each other on takeout right now. So takeout add-ons is going to be important. Do that little extra touch. Maybe add a coloring book for a child in there, or a thank you card. Thank you for supporting our local business. We've seen some handwritten notes on to-go containers where you write, thank you so much for your support. And it's just little things like that that make people feel special from ordering at your restaurant and making people feel like they're family and they're a loyal customer. You're going to want to try maybe a pop-up shop or mini mart at your curbside pickup. So you can invest and sell toilet tissue. You can sell paper towels. Dawn soap. People are washing their dishes more than ever right now. Or puzzles and games at a discounted price. It's a way to make it more fun, interactive, and engaging. And even when you reopen, you can still capitalize on this stuff because, again, you're not going to be operating at full capacity right away. So you want to make up the difference in unique, creative ways that will allow you to engage with your customer base.
Katie, I think this is a great slide. And I think that, one of the great advantages of being a small independent in the Capital District, you're competing against these chains we have the ability to be flexible, to be creative. So like you have to kind of think outside the box. And we've seen some of these issues, you know, where people are doing their best to support local. And when people understand how much local supports local and how that money stays in the local economy, I think it's one of the greatest advantages that we have is that we can be flexible. We can think outside the box. We can be creative. So I think, you know, restaurants really have to kind of think, you know, where can they be creative? Where can they add value? So I think that that's really an important slide.
Thank you so much. I completely agree. And like she said, support local businesses. Use a hashtag to spread the word. Here's what we're doing. Ask your customers to share a picture after they order takeout from you. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in our messaging and marketing your takeout business. So you're going to want to invest in remote ordering, either online or by phone. Something that I have, a restaurant that I have ordered from, they have a process where I call in, I place my order, I do the tip over the phone, I pay over the phone, they ask me for my number, they deliver it, they drop it on my porch, and then they get in their car, they call me and they say your food service takeout delivery has this here. It's ready to be, you can go outside and pick it up. There's no interaction at all. I feel extremely safe. Not only did I see that he had gloves on and a mask as well. So it just reassured me that they're taking everything seriously. And that's something that you guys can consider doing, making sure you have, you know, limited contact when you are doing takeout and delivery. So have you tried specific to-go methods? So you can use a third-party meal app for online orders, Grubhub, Melio, and Uber Eats. These are options that you guys can look into and research and determine if it's the right fit for you. And with that being said, you also want to make sure that when you are having delivery products, that they are tamper resistant and secure. And so we're actually going to have Dan here talk about some to-go packaging and how you can, what to use and when to use it. So he's going to give specific instructions on what products should be used for takeout and delivery. Dan?
Thanks, Katie. Appreciate it. You know, like anything we do in business, we want to use the right tool for the right job. And that's kind of what we're talking to in this slide. You know, the goal is to deliver the food to be as close to sit-down plate quality in the restaurant as possible on delivery or pickup. You know, we're still trying to give a good experience, a good value to the customer, to the end user, whether it's in the restaurant or on delivery. And in fact, right now, the customer's home is the restaurant's new table. And that's why restaurateurs really need to look at how the product is delivered. Is it warm? Is the quality good? Is it easy for them to process the order, like you said, with your restaurant you're working with now? And luckily, I mean, Hillamar stocks a very wide variety of packaging that can help you deliver the best possible experience to your customer. And that experience is going to give you repeat delivery, repeat business, referrals. You know, that thumbs up online, you know, social media being so important right now because everybody's online all the time. And so whether it's on Yelp or whatever it might be, you want that thumbs up on that delivery. That's going to drive more business to your restaurant. And that's important at this time. You know, during this pandemic, my wife and I have been ordering out quite a bit from our favorite independents and some chains to, you know, see what the packaging looks like and, you know, see how the quality delivers, see what the consistency is. And what we found is we keep going back to the same restaurants that deliver consistency. The quality of the packaging is good. The food quality is good. The portions are right. It's in the bag properly. You can see through the container to see what's in it. It's important, you know, in this day and age, we have to deliver our A game when it becomes packaging. You know, that's the new restaurant table. That's the experience our customers are growing to want. You know, they're spending their disposable income, which is shrinking a little bit. They want the best experience possible. You deliver a good experience, the repeat business will come, not only when they go back in your restaurant, but continue to order thereafter. And it's not just about keeping hot food hot. It's trying to deliver meals warm while limiting the amount of sweat in a container. You know, your French fries, your breaded products, you know, you want to keep that crispiness. And it's a delicate thing to do in our business. So maybe you want to use a fiber-based takeout container instead of a foam hinge container. You want something that's going to breathe with your product. You really can't encapsulate product that's warm, French fries and fried chicken and chicken tenders, anything, paninis with bread. You know, once you put that in a hinged foam container in a tea sack in a car for 15 minutes, you tend to ruin the quality of the crispiness of your food. And when it delivers, it's not where you want it to be. You want it to be as close to plate ready in your restaurant as possible on delivery. Or if you're delivering heavily sauce foods, you want to use products with a good seal to avoid any kind of spilling on delivery. You know, and plus you want to have another couple of features within that container. Is it microwavable? So if it does come in a little chilly when they deliver it, is it easily microwavable? Does it have that clear lid? That clear lid is for your staff. It's for customers to see what's in the containers when you get multiple containers delivered. And for delivery people to see that they're delivering the proper product. So that's important. A lot of the restaurants I deal with, they use a clear hinge container, a black bottom, clear top, and they break it apart as it runs through the line so they can prep the food, relid it, and send it out. Because if you got a hinge container along the line, it takes up a lot of room on the prep area or when you're prepping the food to go out the door. So they'll break the seal, reseal it, and send it out. You know, it's important to be able to see what the product is. I think, you know, versus a foam hinge, everybody's opening the container, everybody's touching the container over and over again. If it's a clear view, you can see what's in it and know what you're delivering. The information that we've found from reading a lot of trade information in the restaurant journals is that pickup and delivery is going to drive sales far past reopening of restaurants. This is going to be an ongoing thing. To your point, Katie, people are going to be a little wary to go out for a little while, but takeout and delivery is going to continue to grow. People have now used Grubhub and Uber and DoorDash. They have the apps. They're using them. They understand them now. They're not scared of them. So they're taking that delivery now and they're understanding it. It's easy to do. Now we have to deliver the product in the best possible light that we can, the best quality. Another thing to what you said too is family meals. We've seen a great jump in family meals. There's a value there. You take 6 people to McDonald's, it's going to cost you about 36 bucks. If you get very much on the catering tray you see on this picture here, which has 3 third pans in it, you can deliver a meal for 6 or more people and have leftovers for about the same price. And this is good quality food. The independent restaurants deliver excellent food that can also be saved thereafter. And there's a real value there. So maybe you're going to do a pasta, a protein, and a salad in one of those takeout containers, you know, the catering tray, and deliver that for a family style meal. There's a real value there, especially we see disposable income is going to shrink a little bit based on unemployment. So we got to deliver a value, and that's very important. And at the end of the day, you know, we're all here to help, and we're all here invested in independent restaurants. It's the lifeblood of our business. So anything we can do in any way possible to help them, we want to do that. So thanks for the opportunity to talk today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan, so much. That was a lot of insightful information. I'm sure you'll have some questions in the Q&A portion of what product to use specifically for what, but thank you so much for covering that.
And Katie, if I can, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead, David.
Can I just add one thing to the tamper evidence seal stuff? So, one thing that Katie brought up, I think in the prior slide or two, is, personalizing stuff to kind of win the loyalty of your customers. And, on that top right there, the Secure It brand, it's another just an option of a tamper evident label. Call it a security sticker or however you guys want to, look at it, but it's a, highly aggressive label that you can seal your package into. So, like the Grubhub guy and the Uber Eats guys leaving with your food for your customers, that it's safe and it's not being sampled and so on and so forth. So also when we talk about the personalized, those are going to all be personalized. You could have them custom made by Helen Marks and have them say thank you on them, or have your logo, your name on those labels. So it's another alternative and great option there, for your to-go foods.
Yeah, that's a great point, everyone. We do have the Secure It labels in stock, and we'd be happy to contact your sales rep and learn more about them. But again, tamper resistant and safety, food safety, it's going to be a part of the food safety. So making sure that your customers are knowing that their food isn't tampered with upon delivery is going to be extremely important. And also what you're delivering your food in. So we'll have Holly from Cambro take it away.
Thank you, Katie. We've heard some great things so far, and I think if we can all remain patient during this very difficult time, be creative and step back and start to really strategize on how you're going to open. Stay true to your brand and design your products and services to capture the most revenue. It's not going to be a one size fits all. Some restaurants have remained open during this time and have been doing takeout and delivery, and others have not. So where you've staged your product previously on tables inside, where people have picked up your curbside deliveries, that's probably going to change, and it's now the time to kind of map out what that's going to look like. Cambro has a lot of solutions when it comes to takeout and delivery. For those of you that don't know, Cambro is manufactured in the U.S. In Huntington Beach, California, and Mebane, North Carolina. When we talk about delivery, catering drop-offs, on-site catering, the Go Box comes in extremely handy. So the Go Box is made of EPP, which is expanded polypropylene, making it extremely durable and very lightweight. So if you put 50 pounds in, your staff is only going to be carrying 50 pounds. It can retain hot or cold temps for 4+ hours, making it ideal for delivery and caterings, and also staging product at your restaurant. So another benefit, you can put it right through the dishwasher and let it dry out overnight. And it's very economical. So you can actually build the cost of this into an offsite catering if needed, where you can just drop and go and not have to worry about picking it back up. Think about, as we start to go into the warmer months, as hopefully it does warm up here, Go Boxes are going to be ideal and essential for keeping products cold, especially during delivery. I mean, you and I both know I don't like to eat a warm, soggy garden salad. I want that to be nice and crisp when it delivers. So kind of keeping that in mind and trying to elevate that level of experience for your guests and customers. Right now, Helen Marks is stocking the EPP 180. The 180 is an 8-inch deep Go Box. So it has the ability to hold half-size and full-size food pans, as well as a variety of your takeout containers. There's a promotion right now going on it has been extended through the end of June, so June 30th. With every purchase of an EPP 180 from Helen Marks, you will receive 5 each beverage container holders. So you can see that in the upper right-hand corner. Those beverage holders are fantastic. They fit right into the bottom of the EPP box, and they're great for holding hot or cold beverages during transport. It's also a hands-free kind of transport option for you. So that's a great promotion. When we talk about curbside and one-stop deliveries, that's when the go bags start to come into play. Helen Marks is stocking both the GBD 21-14-14 and the GBD 12-15-15. These are both made of sturdy nylon that's very easy to clean and is also machine washable. They fold up for saving space in the kitchen. And there's also a promotion running for these as well. So with every purchase of a Go bag, you will receive a gel pack that's good for extending the retention of hot or cold items. So please, if you get in touch with your Helen Marks sales reps for the details on that. Cambro's constantly offering new solutions, as well as Helen Marks, and there's a new grab and go kind of staging area being launched at the end of this week. So stay tuned for that. But we're offering as many solutions as we can to make ease this process of reopening and kind of make your customers understand that you're taking the right steps to provide safe food and safe handling of your product. So thank you for that, and look forward to opening up, definitely.
Thank you so much, Holly. Like we said, we're just going to continue to try to provide you all with the tools and products you need to excel at takeout and to make sure that you're taking all the right steps when you reopen and being able to thrive in this environment. So with takeout, we also want to talk about how you can use social media and messaging to share what you're doing. This is a passion of mine. Social media is key to marketing your business and sharing updates with your customers. So you're going to want to let your customer base know that you're open. It's time to get on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram specifically. Those are the platforms you're going to want to use as a food service business, and let your community know you're open. Outline your safety protocols to put your community at ease. So sharing and like Edine said earlier, being transparent is going to be key. Letting your transparency show, here's what we're doing with our safety, here's our social distancing methods that we're practicing. Laying it all out for your customer base to see is going to put them at ease and be like, you know what, this is the first restaurant I'm going to go to when everything reopens, because look at everything they're doing to make sure that I feel safe. So making sure that you outline your safety protocols to put your community at ease is going to be extremely important. Social media is also a great tool to update your hours and share, again, your social distancing methods. So if you do have a change of hours, or you're offering takeout only a specific amount of time, or you're doing something for a holiday like Mother's Day last weekend and you're only having, hours from 4 to 8, make sure that you are updating that on your social media so that people can easily access it. Social media is where a lot of people are getting their news now. This is where they're looking for their information. So it would be a crime almost to miss sharing your expertise and what you're doing for your facility on social media. You're also going to want to update where to park, how you can order. So here's an example of someone operating with a pre-order call system. So they have a call-in, set time, and when they call in at that time, this is when they pick up. This is a great way to prevent crowded areas. So again, it's a good way to maintain social distancing. Share any special deals you may have. That's extremely important. Get people excited about some of the special deals you have going on. Share pictures of your kits and offerings. Create a unique hashtag for your customers to share. So again, people are going to order takeout. They're going to take a picture of it, and they're going to put it on their Facebook and give them a hashtag to use. And they tag your business and share that. That's free marketing for you. It's free advertising. It's word of mouth marketing on Facebook, which is the most effective form of marketing there is. And you're also going to want to monitor and respond to feedback. So if anyone has any questions or any concerns, making sure you're monitoring your social media pages so that you can engage with your customer base, make them feel like a family member, and then always give them feedback that they need and respond and let them know you hear them. Another thing that you're going to want to do with social media is you're going to want to do demonstration and how-tos. So this might be something you haven't done before, but it's a good chance to try. Do a live Facebook video showing behind-the-scenes look at making house favorites. Now, we don't need to show the secret recipes, and we don't want to reveal that type of stuff, but doing something simple as showing, like, here's the house favorite, getting people excited. They see it, their stomach starts grumbling, they're ready to go to your facility or order takeout and get that product. It's a great way to market your business and have fun and give people a little behind-the-scenes look. Also, it's going to be...
Excuse me, Katie?
Yeah, go
All
ahead.
right. Dana brought up a great point when we met earlier to talk about, like, the restaurants that are getting it right and that aren't getting it right. And we talked about that feedback of letting those, operators know, like, what worked, what didn't work. Because, if we want to keep supporting these local businesses, it's important that we keep them in the loop, and try and let them know, like, what was spot on, where did they fail, what came presented poorly, what wasn't properly at the right temperature, or didn't present itself well. So that feedback, the social media piece, is a good piece to be able to give some feedback to your restaurant that you're trying to support.
Absolutely. And so also, when you get that feedback, when you respond to it, it shows customers that you care and that you're not just ignoring them, and that you care about their opinion and you want to give them the best possible experience when they order takeout or when they eat at your restaurant. So absolutely, Adine, that's a great point. Another thing you're going to want to do is showcase your community engagement. So during this time, you can really capitalize on providing frontline meals for frontline workers. So we have some images here. One of our restaurants, they sent a bunch of meals to first responders, and one of our pizza shops that we collaborated with, we sent meals to nurses at a nursing home. And so this is important. Showcase your community engagement. Show people that you care about the community. You're here to you're an essential worker, and you're providing, food and a bright spot in all of these people's day, these frontline workers' day. So showcase that community engagement. Partner with other restaurants, local businesses that you guys can work together and make something happen. It's a great way to share on your social media, and those types of things tend to go viral. So that's another, option for you guys. You can also show a video walking through your restaurant with updated seating. So this is something that would be a good idea, maybe saying, hey guys, we're getting close to reopening. Look at what we've done to our floor plan. We've switched it up to practice social distancing methods. Again, this is just giving people a chance to get excited. They're seeing the restaurant. Oh my gosh, the nostalgia hits them. They're ready to go there and eat. They also know that you're taking all of the social distancing methods that you possibly can. You can also do a video of updated signage about washing hands and social distancing. So again, saying here's, where our hand washing for our employees to see, where it says everyone must wash their hands. Another fun idea for social media is share a quarantine or social distancing cocktail recipe. So this could just be a fun idea where you do a video at your business and you share a recipe for your Facebook audience or your Twitter audience to enjoy using a fun hashtag. Again, sometimes you have drink specials when you were open on a Friday and Saturday, but there's no reason you can't do that right now with your customer base and have fun engaging with them and being creative with them. So you can even get a poll from them. What's your favorite food here? Ask them questions, get their opinion, get their feedback. Like Adine said, that's going to be key. Where have we excelled? Where have we failed? We want to get better. What will make you feel more safe when you eat at our restaurant? So again, you can use social media and messaging to get opinions directly from your customer base. And then of course, you're going to want to share all of the hard work you have done to respond to the crisis. So I think it's important that you let your customers know, and again, be transparent about how much work you've done to respond to this and how much you care about the community and how much you care about your employees and staff and keeping them employed and giving them a chance to work and provide for their families as well. So there's so many things, so much you can do with social media and messaging. Here's some ideas that you guys can capitalize on. And hopefully we can see some of you guys doing this because we would be happy to share on our company page at Hill & Marks and give you guys a shout out. Another thing I did want to touch on as far as, social media, while that's a great way to announce that you're open, I would also recommend reaching out to local chambers and reaching out to press. Everyone's looking for a feel-good story right now. And so it's a great way for you to spread the word about your business being open or here's some fun things you're doing for your customers. And so you should reach out to some of your local press and chambers and get some coverage on what you're doing as well. So that's another way you can do it, the local press and social media. And as part of sharing all of the hard work that you're doing, you might want to highlight some of the food safety training that you're incorporating in your business. So I'm going to go through this quickly, and then we're going to have David kind of talk about the certification program that we're offering. So for food safety, you're going to want to make sure that customers feel safe about how their food was handled. Employees should be using gloves and PPE. Restrooms should be clean, absolutely no overflowing trash cans. Restrooms are going to be key here, guys. They're going to want to make sure that when they walk into your restroom that it's spotless. Prohibit sick employees in the workplace. You should be practicing strict hand washing. And you should have strong procedures to clean and sanitize surfaces and floors. And you should be certified. You should have a food safety certified manager by the health department. And you should also be certified, the business, by the health department. And we're going to talk about how you can get certified with some of the online training courses that we're going to be offering. And so, David, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks, Katie. So yeah, all those bullet points that Katie just kind of went over is, what we're going to talk about right now is the Always Food Safe program. So when you think about food safety training, is one of the big things is, we've talked a lot about peace of mind and, customers coming in with everything going on, they're going to want to know that people are handling your food properly. So one of the things that Hill & Marks offers is the Always Food Safe program. Is it's a ANSI accredited course. So, a lot of people always ask me, what does ANSI even mean? It's just the American National Standards Institute. It's Department of Health recognized. So a lot of people think of programs, they think of ServSafe. And it's basically a comparable program, but we also have an Always Food Safe program. So one of the big differences in this program would be online web-based training versus your typical PowerPoint, go to a class. And so that would be the biggest difference in this program. And the nice thing about the online version of it is that you do it at your own pace. So a lot of you are reopening, you're saying, where the heck am I going to fit getting a manager trained or getting my employees some allergen awareness courses or some basic food handler courses? Well, they can do it at their own pace. They can go in the back office, they can go home, they're going to get a link to our site and you assign it to them. And the nice thing is, you set standards with your own employees, but you could tell them, hey, you got 2 days to finish this, or you have, a week, or so on and so forth, basically at their own pace. The big difference between our program would be is the video learning portion. So we're the only company offering a video learning right now. So you can go in, you can take your videos, all the courses that you want to take. You purchase them through Hill and Marks on how you know which courses you want to take, and then you can retain all your learning there. And the nice thing is they're always going to send some continuous follow-up training. So whichever your employees, if they've signed up for these programs, they're going to get some extra special training, some things here and there that are free training that we'll always throw out there for them. Account management. So this is a big one too. So the nice thing about it is you're going to have your own portal, your own website. You're going to have all your certificates loaded on it that you could print at any moment. And you're going to be able to manage all of your courses that you have out there. So you could have one location or 50, 120, whatever it is location, and you can have a portal on there that shows all your certifications, who's taken what courses, where they are along with their training, and you see all the pass and fail rates and whatever it is you need to see out there. And the nice thing too is you can print your certificates at any moment. And the nice thing about that is you might get the questions coming forward like, hey, is your employees trained? Have they been through any of these courses and so on and so forth? And you can have the certificates posted somewhere at your site right there to say, hey, all of my employees have been through food safety training, and we have however managers on site that are trained also. And as far as a pass fail rate, we're one of the highest in the industries, and I think that kind of circles back to number 3 there, the video learning. The nice thing about the video learning is again, it's not just looking at a PowerPoint and bullet points. It's very interactive. We have some kind of funny characters going through some what happens in the workplace type stuff, that's very common, and it kind of just retains a little bit easier, and it makes it more fun versus just reading, bullet point page after page after page. One of the last couple things I just, part of the Always Food Safe would be is, I get asked, well, what courses are available? So basically all the main courses that you're going to need to open or stay open. Food Protector Manager, which is required at every facility. So that is a course that is offered on there. Your Food Handler course, that is a basic 2-hour course. So when we talk about timing and how long it takes, it's a really quick course. It's offered on there, and you can give all your employees the opportunity to take that course. And then we have allergen awareness training, which is allergen awareness has become very important in the industry over the last couple years. One thing to note on the Food Handler course is that we are, just to kind of help with this reopen and make more restaurants aware and help them out while they reopen, is we are going to offer that allergen course at no charge through August. So if you want more information on that, just contact your sales rep from Hill and Marks, and we can help get you through that. As you're reopening and bringing new employees in or staff. So if you have any questions, I know that Katie's going to do a little Q&A at the end. There's a lot of information about food safety training and courses and stuff, and I'd be happy to help answer any questions you guys have later.
Thank you so much, David. Again, food safety is going to be key when we are all reopening, and you're going to want to, like he said, share that you guys are certified, that you have the certification, put it on the back of your menus, put it on your social media. You can even take a video showing your staff getting trained. So this is going to be important, and we're proud to offer this to you guys. And again, if you have questions later on, we'll get to that in a few here. And so we did want to talk about this briefly. Chris Traver, if you are on, we do want to get to the Q&A section here. So if you could briefly talk about this partnership and how some of the customers on this call could benefit, that would be great.
Good morning. Thank you, Katie. I'm Chris Traver. I'm the Regional Sales Manager for Hill and Marks. I want to spend a couple minutes just talking about the Dining Alliance partnership and the program that we put together. Dan, you made a good point earlier I'd like to highlight. We're all here, the majority of us on our call, to support independent restaurants and food service establishments. And back in March, we realized as a company that this industry was going to be hit very hard. And we asked ourselves as a leadership team, what can we do? What part can we play to offer some relief to our customers in need? So we put together a joint partnership with Dining Alliance and Hill and Marks, and we called it the Restaurant Relief Program. So with that, we're able to extend manufacturing rebates and allowances to the end user off their invoice. Dining Alliance has access to over 350 plus manufacturer rebate programs. So with having said that, we also have access to cell phone allowances, discounts, linen companies, and credit card purchases as well. So it's above and beyond just the invoice, and it's a program that I would highly recommend any independent operator to take a look at and take advantage of those rebates out there. So we are offering kind of a unique program with Dining Alliance. We're able to actually retroactive all of the discounts back to January 1st of this year. So if that's something you guys or anybody has interest in, you certainly contact me or your Hill & Marks sales representative. We're able to do an analysis on your account and give you an idea of approximately what those rebates would look like to you. So the big benefit of this is there's absolutely no cost to you to join this. There's no catches to it, and it's really no harm, no foul opportunity here. So please reach out if you have any questions. We're here to help and support. Thanks, Katie.
Thanks so much, Chris. Appreciate it. All right, so we're kind of closing in on the last part here on our tips for reopening. So cleaning and disinfection is going to be key. You're going to kind of live by the mantra of always be cleaning. Usually cleaning was done off hours, but you're going to see a shift towards visible cleaning during operating hours. Again, your customers are going to feel relieved by this, surprisingly. I know it feels like it goes against everything we've been taught, but customers are going to want to see you cleaning. They're going to want to see you sanitizing. They're going to want to see you throwing away your gloves and putting on new ones. They're going to feel comfortable towards that. And again, you're going to want to make sure people are feeling comfortable because this is a new time for all of us. We're all adjusting, and it's going to be a phase when everyone kind of goes back to restaurants. So you're going to want to be doing some cleaning during operating hours, a more visible shift. You want to have proper training protocols for staff. So you want to have a cleaning checklist. You should be creating a cleaning checklist, the when, where, how, and why for your staff, so that they know when to clean, how to clean, where, and why. You want to clean and disinfect high touch point areas, so door handles, push plates, tables, chairs, booths, payment counters, hand railings, etc. Anything that is high touch, you're going to want to clean and disinfect. And you also want to make sure that your staff is aware of the difference between cleaning, disinfecting, and sanitizing. So cleaning removes germs from surfaces or objects. Cleaning works by using soap or detergent to physically remove germs. Sanitizing lowers the number of germs and bacteria to a healthy level. But disinfecting kills chemicals and kills germs and on surfaces with chemicals. So it's not going to be effective if it's not cleaned beforehand. You're going to want to make sure you're using EPA registered product for coronavirus. You're going to want to make sure that you're following the manufacturer label for dwell times. Your disinfectant is not going to be effective if you leave it on for a dwell time of 3 minutes, but it requires 10 minutes. So you want to make sure that you're following those instructions on the label and making sure you're well aware of dwell times. You're also going to want to make sure that you know which disinfectant needs to be cleaned off afterwards. And you want to have the right idea of where it's safe to sanitize and disinfect. Restrooms, again, we wanted to put a singular slide to this. It's going to be very important. Restrooms should be spotless. They need to be cleaned and disinfected regularly. You should be having someone in there cleaning every 20 minutes, honestly, making sure that the garbage isn't overflowing, making sure that everything's neat and orderly. When people walk into a restroom and they see that it's messy or dirty, they're going to think, what does their kitchen look like? It's not going to, it doesn't help make your customers feel safe. So this is going to be a priority for you moving forward, is making sure that your restroom is cleaned and is, operating as sanitary as possible. And doing so, you're going to want to avoid hand dryers at all costs. If you guys have hand dryers, we highly, highly recommend ripping them off your walls. You need to invest in touchless solutions. Hand dryers spread bacteria in the air, and it's not safe or hygienic. So you're going to want to invest in touchless solutions, paper towel dispensers. You want to have a touch-free soap dispenser, and a touch-free air freshener. We also offer touch-free door openers at Hill & Marks. And so reach out to your sales rep about some of our touchless options. It's going to be key with moving forward and making sure that your customers feel safe, and also reducing germs. We have an image here. Our friends at Georgia Pacific shared with us, but it's kind of all the hot spots that this restroom is doing wrong. And so as you see, you have to lift the faucet to work. You have an overflowing trash can. You have a paper towel dispenser that requires you to pull down. You have a soap dispenser that requires you to push out. You should not be having air fresheners on top of your toilet seats. You should not be having a toilet paper on top of your toilet dispenser. And also you should, avoid having to reach in your toilet paper dispensers. So these are some of the things that you don't want to do in your restroom and that you want to avoid. So cleaning and disinfection, what products are you going to need and where will you need them? So for a kitchen, you're going to need a multi-purpose disinfection, a food contact sanitizer, manual detergent, machine sanitizer and detergent, degreaser, and stainless steel cleaner. For restrooms, you're going to need a similar amount of product, multi-purpose disinfection, bathroom cleaner disinfectant, toilet bowl cleaner, glass cleaner, floor cleaner disinfectant, hand soap, air freshener, and touch-free solutions. In your dining area, you're going to want to have a multi-purpose disinfectant, a glass cleaner, food contact sanitizer, and manual detergent. They also recommend a vacuum. The tools that you will need for this is going to be refillable spray bottles, trigger sprayers, pails, mop buckets, squeegees, wet floor signs, PPE, vacuum, and microfiber cloths. You can get most, if not all of this at Hill & Mark's, and you should be making a checklist for each segment on where you will need it. So with that being said, guys, we have a ton of resources for you. We know we covered a lot in this presentation, but we have a ton of resources for you. We're going to have a Q&A in a couple minutes here, but you should definitely be learning about the Paycheck Protection Program, the CARES Act, to keep employees on your payroll. You should visit hillandmarks.com/COVID-19 to keep up to date with flyers, relevant blog posts, videos, and more. We also have weekly webinars. You should regularly check the Centers for Disease Control's website for any recommendations. And again, you're going to want to visit the New York State Novel Coronavirus page for updates on extensions and regulations, especially as we phase into reopening. And you should be contacting your local health department every couple of weeks to keep updated on any changes. And what we have here is a prepare to open your business checklist. So like I mentioned before about having checklists for moving forward to reopening and making sure you have all the product that you need to keep your facility safe and sanitized and disinfected, we have a checklist that we can absolutely send out to you guys when we follow up with this presentation. So here's some resources for you guys to use. And we are at the point where we're at questions. So anyone that has anything to add or has any questions about anything that we said in this presentation or any feedback, we'd be happy to hear it. You can unmute yourselves or write in the chat box. But yeah, we did record this presentation, and so you will be able to download it and watch it later today, hopefully, and we will send that out to all of you who signed on. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. We have a thank you. You're welcome. Great presentation. Thanks so much. All right, thanks, guys.
Katie did a great job. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Great information, and it's so vital for people to not do takeout currently, but how to open up their businesses when we're allowed to. And you did it's all important information. It's important we give it to all our restaurants and help them with the process. And that interesting. You had a slide with those bar stools. You got to be 6 feet apart, even if they're in the, mounted in the floor. And tables are going to be moved around. It's a whole different world when they do allow us to open up.
Katie, looks like there's a question.
Thank you.
Yep, it looks like we had someone say, do we know about outdoor seating? We don't know. Do any of our experts have any information on this specifically?
Katie, I have heard from other areas, regions that have recently opened up that if landlords are being great in the situation and that they're allowing actually tables to be put into the parking lot in areas where cars usually would be parked. So that enables them to kind of expand their seating to an outdoor al fresco type of dining. And that's gonna help assist giving restaurants some more seating capabilities. So that's what I've heard so far.
Awesome. We did get another question. What is the protocol for use of gloves? How often must they be changed? Food safety, David, do you have a?
Yeah, I mean, they really should be changed after, handling any kind of meal or food. So as soon as if you're looking at food prep in the back of the house, So they're prepping some, chicken, and they're done with that, and they go put that away. They really should get themselves a fresh, set of gloves for the next item that they're about to prep. So, if they're handling one item for, 20, 30 minutes, it's the same exact item, that same workstation, sure, keep them on. But as soon as they, seal it, put it away, go to work on something different, then time to put on a new set of gloves.
Any other questions, guys?
So just to tag, Katie, this is Joe, just to tag on the glove question, and David, you're spot on. Really, you should change your gloves anytime it comes in contact with soil load, whether it's food contact, food prep. Chances are that servers are going to be using gloves when they're delivering meals to tables, regardless of what the scenarios are, but they should be used in normal cleaning preparations. We talked a lot about proper cleaning, sanitizing. And they really should be put on and taken off in the right way. So the technical terms are donning and doffing. And really, you put the gloves on and you roll them inside of each other to make sure that you're not coming in contact with what's on the outside of that glove surface. But equally important, make sure that you're washing your hands and sanitizing in between applications with the gloves.
Yep, and the person who asked the glove question said that it's in relationship to serving ice cream with takeout service only. From the ice cream webinar that we did do, our customer who has been operating takeout, they said that they have been going through a lot of gloves and that they've been disposing of them pretty much very frequent. So after they serve a customer, they dispose and use a new one. They have been open for a while throughout the midst of this, so you might not want to have as extensive of a policy at that point, but that's kind of what they were practicing. Are the plexiglass barriers at customer contact required by law or just suggested at this point? At this point, I believe they're just suggested. Has anyone heard otherwise?
I think you're right. I think it's just suggested.
Yep.
Once the restaurant's open, would you say they need to sanitize the table between patrons every time, the chairs, the tables? Just like in the grocery store where they're sanitizing between each customer on the conveyor belt. Would you say that they really need to sanitize in front of the customer, that table, before they sit down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great point, Dan, and that's the reason why we wanted to draw attention on this webinar, the differences between a disinfectant and a sanitizer, because a sanitizer is going to be food surface safe. So the last thing that you want to do is spray a table down with a disinfectant and have a patron come in and eat off from that surface. So if you are going to use a disinfectant, you want to make sure that you're rinsing it with a potable rinse to make sure that it's effectively cleaned. But 100%, you should be using that as a best practice. And in addition, just to tag on the cleaning and sanitization, that was an extensive list that Katie put up on the screen. It's important to keep in mind that when you work with chemical manufacturers, a lot of their products are multifunctional. So when you talk about cleaning floors and windows and sanitizers and disinfectants, you may be able to eliminate a lot of those items with 2 or 3 solutions. So it's really important that you reach out, you listen to the manufacturer's suggestions, and you pay close attention to what the labels say. Whether it's dilution control or a ready-to-use program, they're both equally as effective. It's just a matter of what's going to be the best fit for your organization.
Yep, and we do have we'll have one more question, then we'll kind of sign off here because we're approaching 9:35. But when using bleach water, what is the ratio of bleach to water for food versus non-food services? Joe, do you have any insight on that?
So the proper ratio for a bleach solution is usually 1 ounce, or it's 1 to 10. So you want 1 ounce per gallon is essentially the general rule of thumb. But you're going to want to make sure that you're properly testing that with a chlorine test strip. Those are available for purchase. Some of the manufacturers do give them out at no charge. The reason why it's important to continuously check a bleach solution, a lot of places will leave a sani cloth in the pail, and what that does is it absorbs the solution. So you may be testing a solution, and it's called quat binding. But so make sure that you're properly testing that. It should be, I believe it's 100 parts per million. And if it's anything below that, you know that the sanitizing or disinfecting solution, it needs to be refreshed. So equally as important to take a look at the soil load. when you're using a bleach solution, especially if it's in a sandy pail, you can put it in a spray bottle as well. Just make sure that the efficacy is where it needs to be so that you're disinfecting properly.
All right, so I do have one last thing to say, and thank you all for your questions and Joe for hopping in and giving that product information. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of the presenters here today. You guys have been so awesome to collaborate with, and you provided so much insightful information. And we are very, very grateful to you guys for joining us today to speak to our customer base. And again, I want to reiterate to our customers that we are here for you. We are here to be consultants and a resource for you throughout this. And we know you guys are resilient and you will get through this. And we are here to support you through this. And, you know, let's support local and independent restaurants. And just very grateful to have spent this morning with you guys talking about food service, and I can't wait to eat some of your delicious food. So we will have this recording and presentation that will be available on Hill & Mark's website. I will also email it to all of you who signed on today. So you'll be able to access that. You can share it on your social media and however you would like. So thank you guys again so much.
Bye, guys.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Katie.